Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Weekly Collective, the last one for this year. So good to see all of you. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. And if this is your first time here, first of all, welcome. Great choice in sampling something on this channel. What we do here is kind of like a cornucopia of smaller readings. We'll start off with pure mediumship, then we'll move on to a 7-day forecast, quickly check in on an elemental forecast, and then go into the special topic today. And you chose Step into Alignment, the star, which I think is actually perfect because many of you might be in the process of creating New Year's resolutions, trying to sort of get organized and get your head on straight for the new year. So well done. Also, I put a little goal here for those that are watching live. I think the second runner-up was whatever needs to come through. So if we get enough on that goal, then I'll cover that as well. That's up to you. All right, so let's get into the channeled messages. By the way, this is for everybody that's present unless I'm specifically talking about a certain sign. So this is such a powerful message, but the way that it came through was I was shown like a muse from mythology. And a muse basically gives you inspiration and typically comes through in divine feminine form, as it did for me. And basically she was saying, be your own muse. Like, you don't need me so much. But there are, like, your spiritual team is with you right now, helping you get inspired, stay inspired. And it's there as a sort of like a support team, but it doesn't need to be training wheels. Like, at a certain point, you have what it takes to do what you need to do. And we often look to other people, whether it's a teacher, a mentor, someone in the public spotlight, and it's like, well, that's my muse. No, you're your own muse. And that was a important message. It shows that you have the power to kind of take the wheel in the chariot and move forward in the new year. The other thing that came through here was this idea of school and graduation. So we can take it on a literal level, where some of you might be deciding to sign up for a winter course or this is more for like the northern hemisphere, so I guess it would be spring, or no, it would be summer in the southern hemisphere, but you know what I'm saying. Starting in January, some of you might be signing up for a class and deciding, hey, I want to learn something new. Perfect timing. It looks like it's like right in alignment. This is also, though, the graduation piece showing me that you've done what you needed to do in a certain part of your life. And Spirit's sort of saying, are you ready for the next step? Because there's no need to repeat. You don't need to repeat this course. You don't need to repeat this cycle. And so we don't get that, formalized graduation ceremony in real life when we go through something on an energetic or spiritual level. But suffice it to say, Spirit is giving you the nod that it's okay to progress to the next thing. I was also shown a janitor, which is showing me that between like right now and the new year, a perfect thing to do is clean up. Energetic cleanup, emotional cleanup, actual like cleaning of the closets. And it also is just this encouragement to go through into the new year in this sense of like clarity, a lack of attachments, and a lack of anchors, so that you can go, like, imagine that you are a sailboat without any sort of friction towards the horizon. Have your 3 of Wands moment, if you will, okay? Beautiful messages, and we'll continue to come back to these as needed, but inspiration, that's really what the muse is about. It's saying, like, you're inspirational. Stay in the energy of being inspired whenever you're doing something, because if you're not, it's not going to be your best work, right? So this is a moment to really put your feet into the ground and get involved with something that matters for you, okay? Welcome, everyone. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I also put a link for the newsletter. I'm going to launch some smaller sort of coursework and group energy type things in the new year. I'm going to spend this week figuring out what that's going to look like in probably the first week of the new year. If not the first, I might not have it all ready by the first, but it might be like the actual first full week. I'll put out an announcement both here and through my newsletter. So I pinned that in the chat here, and I'll make sure to put it in the pinned comment when this is on replay. So sign up there. I don't actually spam people that much on the newsletter. I will send out only when something's newsworthy or if it's been a while since you've heard from me. So There you go. Okay, I'm going to give Apollo some more food, and then we're going to get started. So while I'm doing that, if you want to join me on socials, you can do that. Please do. You can also give back with a super sticker to help us meet the goal. Right back. All right. For those of you who have pets, you know what I'm talking about. They will not eat until you have to do something important. So I actually have extra food by the side. I'm ready for these events. Okay, let's get started. We're going to go into the 7-day forecast, taking a look at exactly how it sounds, the work week or the week ahead of us. All right, I already have a deck for this. I always like to begin, actually, I think we have a beginning card, but I always like to get started with clarity. So if you haven't already sort of cleared your mind, imagine that you're standing in an open field. The sun is directly overhead. You could trace a circle of light around your body. And in this moment, know that you are connected and protected, welcoming your guides, angels, and higher self. Interesting. Okay, zoom out just a little bit so we can see all of this. All right, let's begin with the energy for today. And for this Sunday, we have the Shaman, also known as the Magician in Rider-Waite-Smith. The card is reversed. And with the reversal of this card, it's saying, don't second guess your intuition, your guidance, your higher self. Also stay focused. We also see the, what looks like smudging ceremony here. I was talking about cleaning and clearing. So a great way to do that, in addition to taking the Windex and using a mop on the floor, is to use other supernatural tools like crystals and also sage or incense or whatever works for you in your practice. So energetically and also like physically clean the space. This will allow you to focus. Pick something that you can really make an impact on. Let that be your focal point this week. And when you are given something as far as guidance or inspiration, trust it. The reversal of this often is this sort of doubt or lack of focus or sometimes disbelief. I have a friend actually in my own life who is a shaman, and he has been consistently reminding me of the importance of using, if there's been any lack or struggle in your life, put it in the past tense. I used to have trouble with. And then instead say now, I am in, let's say it's abundance. I used to have trouble with abundance. I'm currently creating more, or even more powerful. The abundance is here. I can't wait to figure out how to access it. So put yourself in present tense when you are creating something that you used to be in the lack of. I used to have trouble with love. I used to have trouble with communication. I'm starting to thrive now. Okay, it's a mind trick, but here's the weird thing. I was talking to him about something, and then the very next day, I met someone in town that aligned with something that I used to have some trouble with, and I'm like, he's right. When I just the conversation alone opened it up. He even said, this is how it's going to happen. You're probably going to do this, this, and this, and then you'll meet some. And he was right. Sometimes just believing it can make it happen. Thank you, Kate Bush. It's a line in Cloud Busting. But yeah, sometimes we just need to believe that it's possible and that we're already in the abundance rather than the lack. So I'd like you to reprogram yourself a little bit and then pay attention. It could happen in the next hour, day, or week, but you'll probably start to see some movement, some shifting in that. Thoughts manifest, all right? Let's check in on Apollo, who just decided to join us. Hey, buddy. Who's a good boy? Little kiss? Thank you. Freshly groomed, looking amazing. All right, let's go to the energy of Monday. Sorry, I know many of you like to say hello to him, so whenever he joins, I will do that. All right, so we have the stag coming through on Monday. And interestingly enough, when I'm looking at this card, one of the thoughts that comes through is this sense of like even stagnation when I'm looking at the root of the word, even though that's not necessarily the main meaning of this one. So if there's anything in your life where you're feeling a little bit stuck, this is a time to say, you know what, I'm going to change it up. So the cards 8 and 11 are switched in this particular deck. So strength and justice are switched. So many of you are in a deciding moment. This would be more connected to that, or standing up for yourself. So don't be afraid to march to the beat of your own drum, to set into motion something that feels right, that is right for you. And if something is out of balance for you, then it's very, very important in this moment to say, no, this isn't good enough. I'm going to pull the traditional card while we're talking. Again, it's going to be a different number because they flipped it. So I had an experience. So I'm supposed to be in a new apartment, but I went in to do a walkthrough before the move, and there were several things that were not right. And one of them was a safety hazard. And without getting into too many details, it was enough of a hazard that I was like, yeah, this is not up to code. I'm not going to move. And then I had to spend the next couple of days reversing all of that. And I've learned, because I've been through bad ones before, to pick up on signs. One thing that I'll give you with this real life example, so here's the regular number 11. Again, 8 and 11 can be flipped in certain decks. So when it's reversed, the scales aren't right. Something doesn't balance out. So I had to stand up for myself and just say, in the calmest way possible, this isn't going to work. This isn't what I was promised. It isn't ready for move-in. And they said, fine, just we'll rip up the lease and come by tomorrow and you'll get your money back. But I did it in a firm way. I spent 4 hours sitting there and thinking, I know that I'm in the right on this one. I have to calm myself down. I have to get to the point where when I have the conversation, it's just a delivery of words and a delivery of truth. And it worked because I wasn't emotional. I was super clear. I was super firm. And it felt good because, like the channeled messages that came through for you, it was an area of struggle that I had been through before. And I'm like, we're not doing this again. I know the end to this story and I don't like it. And I'm not going to participate in it. So I've jumped 3 timelines this year when I've been thinking of making a move. And sometimes I get it weeks ahead, months ahead. Sometimes it's just days ahead. I'm like, nope, it's not right yet. So I'm here. So don't be afraid to change your mind. It can be a valuable thing. It can be good to just say, this is where I need to be right now. If someone's doing something wrong, you may need to get involved, like get legal matters underway. You may need to, if someone's saying something that wasn't right, you can say, that's not how it went. Here's the receipt. Here's what we actually talked about. Okay? So stand up for yourself. Say no. March to the beat of your own drum. And don't be afraid to take a step back if needed. This can also represent indecision, and we had the very tapped in sort of energy of the shaman before. So for some of you, it's just a reminder that you already know. So if you know, you know, and it's time to move forward. So let's get moving, folks. What's the hesitation, okay? All right, there were 2 cards that came through, one reversed, one upright. This is for the energy of Tuesday. So we have the 6 of Pentacles first. 6 of Pentacles in the reverse position. You might have to say no more than you like. This is a card of, well, it actually says here, it can be exploitation when you are generous. But it's also discernment. You can look at it either way. So when you're discerning, you have more than enough to put into all the little areas that you want, because these outstretched hands can be also opportunities in your life. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of education. I'm going to do a little bit of outreach. I need to take care of myself here a little bit. It's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then you're budgeting. You're deciding. You're not overextending, because maybe that was, well, typically with the 4 and 5 of Pentacles, there's not enough. So you've learned how to decide what matters. Not everything is going to require your attention. And you can't spread yourself so thin that, you know, you start to lose efficacy in these things. So you have to decide, where can I make an impact? And I'm sometimes going to have to say no, and it feels like it stings a little bit, but I can do more and do better because I say no occasionally. Okay, that's the main message here. So Tuesday, you have to decide, you have to say no. We saw a little bit of that on the day before. You're weighing it out. You realize, I got to fight for this. If you didn't do it on Monday, you'll have to start to do it on Tuesday. Then that brings us into power. We have the 2 of Wands, which is decisiveness, which is also dreaming, which is, for many of you, it is one of the steps in a manifestation. So the 2 of Wands often empowers the magician or the high priestess. So, and the way it does is because it's saying to the universe, I want this. I see this. Maybe I see it with here before I see it like in my eyes. So third eye and then your physical eyes. Believing it. So you can pick your favorite song from the last century, maybe like Journey, Don't Stop Believing. Don't stop believing in what's possible, because that belief will help you identify channels that will bring you closer to the belief. So that's why I was saying rewrite the tense in which you speak and think. So I used to have trouble with this, no longer. Now I'm addressing it. Now I'm thriving, or I can't wait to thrive. But it's better to put yourself in the now. Now it's working. I just have to identify the path. It's opening up. Show me, Spirit, because I'm ready to be in the energy of the abundance or whatever. Okay? So see it in your eye, your third eye, see it in your heart, and then you'll see it in your physical environment. And it could be as quickly as today. It could be this week, this month, definitely this upcoming year. But it's sooner than you think. Something wonderful sooner than you think. That's kind of like your little manifestation. Okay, we have ancestral energy coming through in the midweek. So on Wednesday, we have the Ancestor. This is also the Hierophant. This deck makes a lot of little changes, but it's one of the few where I'm like, I like it enough that I'll learn the changes. Okay, but I appreciate the word Ancestor on this one, because this could be tradition. And let me look at, I have to look at the calendar here. So are we on like New Year's on the tradition day? No, it's New Year's. Yeah, New Year's Eve. Okay. All right. So you might be doing something traditional, familiar, makes sense. This also is a reminder that you can make your own tradition. So with Hierophant energy, you can lean into structure or create new structure. That's kind of up to you. One of my other favorite decks, the Light Seers deck, has like this young Hierophant instead of the old papal figure usually. So do what you want to this day, but kind of create a structure, routine, or a ritual, especially if you want to lean into manifestation. It's a really powerful day. That's why we do the New Year's resolutions. So if you didn't do it on the solstice and you didn't do it on the new moon, third time's a charm. Please set some time aside this week, especially on this day, on Wednesday, and lean into what it is that you want to do. Because the day before, this is giving you what you needed, which was what's kind of like giving back, what's zapping me out, and how do I want to enter into this new year, and now how am I going to make this happen? Let's get organized. Let's get practical and tactical, okay? Now, as we take a look at the energy for Thursday, we have the moon in the water and the moon on the water. And this is a day to face your fears, to look at any sort of discomfort that might be in your life and say, all right, what did I learn from that? Why is that coming through? And I like the bull on the hill there. Nice Tauran energy coming through. So be bullish about possibilities and the future. Like, I believe in me. I believe this can happen. I see this happening. You're getting, that's New Year's Day, right? So on that day, you're actually leaning into the energy of your wishes. So yes, that's January 1st. So this is when you start to believe. Believing is seeing. That's what this is telling you, particularly as illustrated. But there may be some fears to unravel. There may be some old beliefs to release. And those are the things that usually come up in the water in the traditional card. Okay. Taking a look at the end of this week ahead, we have Nine of Wands. It's a very unusual Nine of Wands, but I like respect as a message. I would also put tenacity. So we have someone here with the Nine of Wands very clearly going after what they want. I'm going to pull the traditional one because I do think Rider-Waite-Smith tells a better story on this one. So Nine of Wands is the unflappable card in the minor arcana. It may be bruised, it may be beaten, it may be weary, but it hasn't given up. There's a bandage across the person's forehead. He's sitting there thinking, you thought that was going to get me down? No, but when is this going to get over or be over? He's both tenacious and exhausted. So take a break on Friday, please. Just give yourself some time. Clear your mind. Your mind may be in that tug of war between, I know I can, but I'm also just really sick of this, which is fine. It's human to have these combating feelings. The battle's in the head now. You already won the battle on the land. Now it's the emotional and the sort of inner voice that's battling you. So let's not let that win. And if you are feeling a little worse for the wear, take care of yourself. I love the expression. He's like, seriously? And it's like that final straw moment sometimes, but you're not giving up on this. So sometimes when it rains, it pours. We've had an atmospheric river. I'm sure you've noticed in most of my videos for the past month, it's just been foggy here. Finally, all of that moisture dropped down, but it did so in like 3 days, which of course is very California of the weather. But sometimes when it rains, it pours, but then it's usually done. So you might be at the final stage of getting through something. Don't give up. Respect the work that you've done and then push through. He's also literally kind of like in the brush or in the weeds. And there's a phrase like being in the weeds, and it means you can't see what's around you because you're so focused on this. It's like blinders. So you have to sometimes get the perspective, which was the daily card for today, the 8 of Cups. Take a step back, take a break, okay? All right, let's look at the upcoming weekend, starting with Saturday. We have the Star, which is beautifully the Seer. The Seer on Saturday, which is a pair to the Shaman. So this is High Priestess energy. Also reversed, also doubting. It's very Galadriel because she has like her little, whatever that was called, the seeing pond in front of Galadriel. Like the mirror, the scrying mirror. So what I'm getting from this also is just a quick vision in my head. It's like someone covering their eyes. You're seeing something that you're not ready or wanting to see, but it's there as it's a blessing or it's a guide. It's going to help you out. So sometimes people reveal a truth about themselves that we don't like. Sometimes we see something in a person, place, or thing that wasn't what we had signed up for, but it's going to help you. Use your information that's coming through, your intuition, your gut instincts, literally what people are showing and telling, and keep your eyes open. Be aware, and then say, all right, I wish I hadn't known that, but now that I know it, I'm going to change course. I'm going to make adjustments. Better to know than not. Better to be able to adjust and course correct than to be stuck or to make some sort of a misstep. All right? So you're seeing something for its true colors. Again, with the belief and the focus and putting the energy into I can and I will and I am. Not all of the past tense stuff that wasn't working out the way you wanted it. It's like one little final day that is precipitating. All right, as we go to the very end of this 7-day forecast, a week from today, we have Page of Wands. The card is in reverse. The page is out there on a limb, literally, and it's kind of taking a step back. Maybe you're afraid to go out on a limb and share your ideas because wands are inventive, they're imaginative, they're problem solvers. And when we put ourselves out there, out on a limb, it is sometimes a place where we feel judged, sometimes acknowledged, oftentimes exposed. Shirley MacLaine wrote a book called Out on a Limb, and she was ridiculed for it. She was one of the early people that was willing to talk about intuitive development and psychic phenomenon and metaphysics, and has continued to do so throughout her life, and has also been made fun of for that. So the book title was descriptive of how it feels. I'm going to go out on a limb and talk about stuff. Maybe the limb will break. Maybe people will laugh at me. Maybe they're going to shake the tree because they don't want to hear it. But sometimes being a luminary means taking a risk and going for it. Pick your moment. I think that's really what the page can teach us. Know your audience and pick your moment. If you're in a room where it's not going to be well received, save your breath. But when you know that you can make an impact, do it. And sometimes we put ourselves out on a limb even though we know there's going to be issues because we want to make it easier for others. If you want to make change in the world, you put yourself out there sometimes because you're old enough, strong enough, privileged enough, whatever, experienced enough that it's not going to hurt as much. You got a thicker skin and you're like, I'm going to take one blow for the team so that the next person doesn't have to do this. And it sucks that I'm doing it, but it'll be easier for each subsequent generation. So you might be doing that. Don't doubt yourself when you deliver something. Make sure that you believe in what you're saying. Belief keeps coming through in this this weekly forecast because it's so important that you believe. Your belief and your passion will pull everybody else in, or it will create doubt. So you want to obviously go towards the belief side of that, okay? All right, let's look at any sort of highlights or challenges. So for the highlights, I mean, I actually think you have really good energy coming through today and on Saturday. So this Sunday and this upcoming Saturday, because we have manifestation cards. The only thing that's lacking is the belief piece, but we've talked about that. I think you can get very organized on New Year's Eve and create something that's going to set you into a really positive trajectory in the year ahead. So do it, particularly when it comes to your budget or your resources, because you're learning that from the day before. I think the challenging days, Monday is a little bit challenging because you have to figure out what you want or don't want, okay? I think that emotions are running high on Thursday, so that could be a little challenging. And then I think the most vulnerable day is Sunday, which we leaned into a little bit. The rest of the week is very, very manageable. Okay, let's move onward. The next phase in this is going to be the elements, where we take a look at fire, earth, air, and water. So I'm going to put these cards up here just in case I need to reference them. Let me decide which deck I would like to use next, and we'll go there. Maybe I'll save this for the main one. Let's see. No, I'll use that, and then I'll do the kids one for that. Okay, sorry. Executive decisions. All right, so fire, earth, air, and water. Okay, let's get started with the fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Celebration, wish fulfillment, 9 of Cups. All the angels coming there to fill up that chalice so that it runneth over. This is why I want you to believe. Believing is the most important part of the equation because it also tells spirit that you're ready. So this is a great week to work on your dreams. This is a great week to hang out with others. This is a good time to focus on mental health. We're looking at feeling good, looking at the good in the world, seeing the good, surrounding yourself with positivity, and anywhere you're feeling friction or negativity, if you have to deal with something, deal with it. But don't surround yourself with people or environments that are antithetical or opposite of the 9 of Cups, which is joyful, cheerful, positive, and emotive. Your positivity also attracts new things. Be prepared for some good news. Now, of course, this is an emotional card, so emotions can run high and low. If it's a really challenging day, know that it's just one moment, one day. It does not dictate the entirety of this week, this year, etc. And hold yourself to this sort of possibility that tomorrow's a new day. And I can't wait for it to be better than today. The positivity is going to be your key to manifestation. Stay elevated, stay positive, put yourself in situations where that sort of energy is reflected and amplified, and this is going to be good. Lean in also into sort of any sort of creative activities or anything that gets the endorphins moving. So it's a good week for exercise. If you've been putting that into your list of things that you want to do in the new year, this is a great week to get started on that, okay? Good energy for the fire signs. Enjoy, stay positive. Moving on to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Here we go with justice one more time. In the reverse position, just like it was in the weekly spread, and that was Monday. Like I said, 8 and 11 were flipped in that deck. Okay, so it can simply be a moment where you're trying to decide, is this for me? Is this what I want, or is it what's being projected upon me by friends, family, society? If I don't want it, I need to say that I don't want it. Have I had enough? Have I gone through something and I am completely done? And if that's the case, then you have to, you push the stop button or you say enough. There's a scene in Regarding Henry, which was this film with Harrison Ford, and he's recovering from a brain injury, and he doesn't know when to say when. She says, say when, and he just looks at the cup. She says, you have to say when you've had enough. And it's a good line for everyday life. Sometimes you just have to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do anymore, or you need to stop, or I've had my fill. So that's the vision that comes through my head is you have to say when you've had enough. And then, of course, fight for what matters. And for the rest of you where you're like, Nicholas, my life is fine, this is just about creating better balance in how you're organizing your time and schedule, because you might be not getting enough sleep. You might not be getting enough nutritional value in your meals. You might be spending too much time and energy on something that you don't need to. So there's still an opportunity for balance, decisiveness. And the main thing here is, what do you want? You have time. You have this whole week to make your mind up. But if you could get kind of like clear by Wednesday what you want, pick one thing for the new year. Where do you want to see growth, or where do you want to see release? And then put that into your journal or speak it out loud. You'll start to see movement on that, okay? Fight for your voice, for yourself. Sometimes you have to fight. Sometimes you have to articulate. And this is a week where your voice matters. Just like me, take the advice that my friend gave me. It doesn't have to be dramatic. That's what my friend told me as advice. And I was like, oh, good. Then I'm just going to get clear. And I'm going to speak from the solar plexus. And I'm going to speak in a way that I know, and that they know that I'm right, and that they know that I know that they know that I'm right. And then it's done. So I also, in my head, thought, I'm already not going to have to deal with this. This is solved. I just have to open my mouth. The words will come out, and this is going to be done. And it was. There are very few times where it's that easy, but I spent 4 hours organizing my thoughts and practicing in the car until I could kind of like get it out, and then I said it. So take your time, but then definitely speak your mind. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius are air signs. Let's see what's coming through for you. We have the King of Wands in reverse. Also a card that is, excuse me, willing to stand up. Willing to stand up for itself. And say, I'm the boss, this is my decision. Or simply say, no, I don't want this. So bossiness when it matters, stubbornness when it matters. Now there could be this tendency to overthink. Imperfection is sometimes very attractive. If we think of beauty standards, which need a lot of work because we have unrealistic standards. But one of the interesting things is, even from the last century, beauty marks, moles. Sometimes people with one imperfection or one oddity are more attractive because there's something different about them. A lot of times you'll see models with wider spaced eyes, or a natural mole, or they're taller. Something's different, wider eyebrows, whatever their claim to fame is. It's because we have everybody else is a dime a dozen. We've seen it, been there, and the one person that stands out a little bit and doesn't change it is memorable. Same thing when it comes to like entertainment, movies, fashion. Something that's just a little different but still approachable, that's good. So don't wash yourself of your uniqueness. We have so much homogeny, so much sameness out there. If you can find a way to accentuate the thing that makes you slightly out of the norm, that's going to be your secret to success. Lean into the different energy, the singular energy that is you, okay? Don't overthink, don't overperfect, stay open-minded. There may be criticism that comes through this week that's not what you need to or want. Well, it's what you need to hear, it's not what you want to hear. And again, I feel like that's coming through on Saturday because we had High Priestess energy, but she was reversed. So you're being shown something that's a little uncomfortable, but it may open you up to a better path. So constructive criticism is a good thing. Standing your ground is a good thing. Believing in yourself is an essential piece to all of this as well. And I think as long as you connect with these messages, it could be a really, really good week, okay? Don't micromanage, though. That is something that King of Wands and Emperor or Empress tends to do when they're reversed. So you do you. You focus on what you need to do and let other people come to you when they're ready. If they're not ready, so be it. Okay, let's move on now to water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It's a week where it may be difficult to get inspired, partially because what you're doing or who you're working with may be creating this sort of like friction. You're kind of over it. That's what I'm getting. There's something that you're working on that you're over with, or you're done with rather, or you're completely over this sort of energy that could be school, work, a social sphere where it's just like same old, rinse and repeat. There's competition, there's conflict, there's redundancy of effort. And so this week, you may be better if you work in a smaller group. So if we subtract one from this equation, usually the troublemaker, we have harmony, 4 of Wands. If we subtract another, we have manifestation. Another, we have the ability to brainstorm. So I think you just need to pull, there's too much. There's too many things going on. There's too many people. Pull something out of the mix and you'll be stronger. Or step into leadership, 6 of Wands, and then you're going to be on your way to success. So you're either going to rise above or step back. But somehow, whatever you're involved with or in the throes of, there's something about it that just isn't doing what it used to do for you. So it's okay. Maybe that's part of the New Year's resolutions for you, is to just say, less of this, more of this. And also recognizing patterns of like competition and conflict, and either finding a way to be alchemic and to neutralize it, or to just say, I'm going to save my breath. This isn't worth it. There is value in that. You do not have to be the teacher, the problem solver for all of these people in your life. There comes a point where there's freedom in just saying, I'll let you figure that out on your own. All right, folks, we're going to get into special topic territory now. Special topic is the star, snap into alignment or step into alignment. So by definition, I'm going to be looking at areas where you're lacking alignment, where there's imbalance. You chose well because twice we got the Justice card reversed. So I want to see where the balance is lacking and where we can get you ready to be the star that you are. That's poetic. All right, before I do that, just a quick little welcome to everybody here. And I have a couple of remaining memberships to gift before this New Year's is up. So there you go. To everybody that joined in for the special topic, perfect timing. Enjoy those free memberships. And I'll be doing things in the new year, as I've been alluding to, some opportunities to focus on intuitive development. By the way, you can go to my website also to sign up for the newsletter. So sign up for the newsletter. I'll be announcing how we can do this, how we can meet occasionally for meditation, occasionally for intuitive development, for special topics that don't always make it into the mix here. I'll probably put this behind membership or Patreon or something like that to reward people, and also to make sure that you want to do the work. I'll open some of it up to the general public, but I'm working on organizing it. Like I said, we'll have some information coming out in the next week. So sign up for the newsletter. It's on my main. You can find it from my page, and it's also pinned on the comment. All right, let me select the deck and let's get started here. Let's see. I know I had the card deck here and I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Apollo has joined us for this portion of the reading. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate your presence here. All right, take a moment, if you will. Let's tune in and let go of any sort of fears, anxieties, trepidation, whatever it is that you're bringing into this portion of the reading. This is really getting us set up so that you can thrive in the year ahead. If you haven't already done so, see yourself in a circle of light, welcome in angel spirit guides, and ascended masters. Sometimes they are a guard. Be that as it may. Let's see what's coming through. Again, special topic here. We're looking at how to step into alignment so you can be the star. It's been a minute since I read with this deck. It's so colorful. I love it. All right, let's get started with the catalyst. So we have life force coming through, and the importance is vitality, feeling like you have more than enough. This is where, although we are spiritual beings, we are in a three-dimensional world, and we're very much in a physical body, and it's important to take care of the physical body. So if you've been neglecting health, and health is multifaceted, mind, body, spirit, then the first and the most important foundational piece is to focus on health so that your life force can continue to light it up. Think of it as like, if you will, it's kind of like the hermit's lantern. We want to make sure there's enough oil so that the wick can keep burning. So you're filling up your body with vitality to give you what you need to approach and to manifest all your goals and dreams in this year ahead. So whatever you need, it could be physical activity, therapy, fun, play, relationship energy, whatever's missing, because that was the justice energy that kept showing up reversed. So it's important to strike a balance for sure. And that's why we have at the very center of this spread the Tower. So let's talk about the Tower and the Two of Cups on top of this. So for some of you, it could be finding harmony in relationships. These two cards help each other. So this is the clarifying card or the sort of modifying card because it crosses it. So the Two of Cups, friendship, love, camaraderie, partnership, advice, mentorship, you name it. It's not just love. Here we have like two besties, right? So it can just be that playful energy of BFF, best friend forever. But it can also be a lover or an advisor. So what is it that's lacking when it comes to people in your life? Could there be a relationship that wants to level up? So the Tower, we'll start with this, the Tower in reverse. Not only did you see it coming, but now it's so abundantly clear that something needs to shift. And now that we're on the precipice, on the sort of like liminal space between December and January, the New Year's, we can taste it. There's no more time. You have to do it. And you may feel that you've been thrust into something new. And it's like, well, I wasn't ready, but I'm ready on a soul level. I'm just like mentally not there. So this card is saying, fasten your seatbelts because we need to accelerate a little to help you snap into the alignment. And it's already really there. What are you going to do about it? So this is a card that says, lean into the change. The Tower's already crumbled, or it's crumbling. So now it's time to say, despite the discomfort, the truth of the matter is, I'm ready. I'm just in denial. You had two manifestation cards, High Priestess and the Magician, both reversed. So there's one or two ways around this already. We had the Two of Wands making an appearance too. So like, I feel like you've got this. It's just a matter of trusting your insights and taking a step into it. Clean up messes. Whatever the mess is. Financial, relationship-oriented, energetic. How many things that you're putting your energy into, like resource-oriented. Wherever there's a mess. The first 3 days of this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, leading into New Year's, I want you to say, this is the mess, but this is the change that I'm going to apply. There's already a solution. I'm in the solution. I'm stepping into it. We're going to get present tense with it. I used to have issues with this, but that's done. Been there, done and dusted. Now I'm going to do this because I'm ready. Really leaning into the readiness is going to help you, and you don't have to do it alone. Talk to a friend, talk to an advisor, talk to an expert, talk to a lawyer. Whoever your Two of Cups is, you've got support. And it's probably even elevated and better when you lean into that support system. Taking this out of the Tower. There could be someone new. Well, we can't really take it completely out because it will still affect this, but this could be new love or friendship. And it happens like that. You're not expecting it. You're at the grocery store. You're doing an assignment. You're trying to talk to someone else and you get interrupted and, you're, for a second, if it's love, it takes your breath away. If it's a friend, you're like, where did you come from and where have you been? I've been looking for you. There is a synchronistic arrival of somebody in your life. But you have to do the work of the cleaning up of the tower first. But this is also someone who's coming in to help push you forward. And it's probably out of your comfort zone, especially if it is love. So if you've been trying to manifest love, they come in fast and furious. Okay? So unexpected love, partnership, friendship, or a person in your life that could change it for the better. They may also come through and challenge things that you wanted to ignore, like a mentor, but they're helping you see it in a way that's going to benefit you in the year ahead. Okay? Let me take a drink and then we're going to talk about this, which we want to keep in the past. Okay. Four of Cups. Definitely an energy to be left into the past. The Four of Cups, just as we see here, there's an opportunity waiting. There's always like this Rider-Waite-Smith Ace of Cups there. But we can see the Three Cups raining down on her. I mentioned when it rains, it pours. There may be one day this week where it just feels like the world is topsy-turvy. The Tower, the Three of Cups reversed. But then we have this fourth cup here, which is, however, I needed to get you feeling and looking that way so that you would approach something new. If you're willing to look just a little bit out of your comfort zone, this is also very important. I believe it was for the air signs that had the King of Wands in reverse. If you're too fixated on when it needs to happen, who's going to bring it in, and like how it's going to look, like you'll miss another possibly better opportunity. So there's a blessing in disguise if you can weather that little tiny storm above you. So that's one way to look at it. The other way is don't compare yourself to others. You never know what someone has gone through to get where they're at, what they may still be going through in this moment. And sometimes that can make you feel isolated, but it's just because they're not sharing the full picture, okay? Now we're going to the card that I pulled for the daily today. We have Eight of Cups energy. Eight of Cups, in this deck you can see all the cups on the ground. He's getting distance from the storm or from the cups. Traditionally, let me see if I still have that card handy. The Eight of Cups can represent an overdue vacation, by the way. It was something that I thought of later. I'm like, there's only so much I can capture in a daily, so it came through for today. If it's been like forever and a day since you've had a vacation, take a day off this week, whether it's a sick day, whatever it is. Like if you don't do it, the Tower comes through. And that can be burnout. That can be health issues. So it's better that you do it on your own and just say, I really need to take 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 weeks, I don't care what, but like you need a break. And when you take that break, you're going to come back refreshed, invigorated, and clear. So here's the Eight of Cups. And we can see there's room for the ninth. So if you count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the ninth is, it's open for wish fulfillment. So he's ostensibly got that last cup with him and he's going to see how he feels. And when he comes back, he's ready. So if you take a break, you get clear and things are done. It's easier. Have you ever noticed that when you're burned out on something, if you just go get a snack or talk to a friend or whatever, and then come back, you're like, oh, I missed this. Oh, I see the way through it. Diminishing returns. Some of you have just reached a point of diminishing returns. And you're denying yourself, because the card was reversed, the break that you need. Okay? And also, it's about leaving a door open. So here's the cool thing. If you're ready to move on, I mentioned in the channeled messages the whole thought of graduation. So you feel it, maybe you're talking to someone about it here, you're kind of entertaining the thought, but there's a part of you that thinks, I don't know if I want to fully close that door. You don't have to. The Eight of Cups is a door that is cracked open, which means that, let's say you're leaving a job. They may try to get you to come back, or they'll say, if you change your mind, call. So that's a good thing to know. In a relationship, you might have opportunity for like reconciliation if you want to. So a door open can be a good thing, unless someone's not taking a hint and you're just very decisive about what you want. Then make it incontrovertibly clear, like without a shadow of a doubt, no and absolutely not. So if you want the door open, leave it open. If you don't, be clearer, because the communication could be foggier. That's why we have the King of Swords. No means no. Sometimes you have to repeat it 3 times. Like, absolutely not. So use your words well, and if you have to accentuate the no, do so. No, and here's why. No, and I did the homework, and I'm absolutely sure. I told you this story, and now we're coming up on 11 years this January. Like when I quit, I had to say it about 3 or 4 times. I had to keep telling people, and they kept saying, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. Yes, yes, yes. And after that, they were like, okay, good luck. But it took a few times, and that also was the universe checking in. This is a big deal. Are you sure? I had multiple opportunities to go back through the door. So be clear, and that will help you, and it will also give you what you need to hit the ground running too. You might have to show your work like you do in school. Back, I don't know if they still do this with math, but they would say, you can put your solution here, but I might make sure you show your work. I might need to look at it to make sure that I can see where you went wrong. So you can just show your work. Like, hey, I've researched this, I'm certain. Now, getting into the energy of alignment. Prior to this, we've been looking at things that are out of alignment. Now we see your alignment. This is in the crown chakra. It's saying, like, here's where your power is. Your voice and your actions, they need to align. If you say one thing and do another, it's going to be criticized because it's not something that people can get behind, right? So you have to be accountable. You'll be held accountable if you say one thing and do another. Hypocritical is the word I'm looking for. It's hypocritical. It's conflicting. So believe in yourself, say what you're going to do, and then do what you're going to do. Keep your promises. Hold others to do the same. When you do that, you're powerful. The card is upright. This is a time where people might want to hear or see more of you. So maybe you're going to do more public speaking. Maybe there's more leadership opportunities. Maybe you're going to put together your learnings in a package, like a curriculum or something where people can, gain information, knowledge, or inspiration from it. Words and actions, they're being seen, they're being observed. This is where your power is. So make sure that they align. 5 of Swords, interesting. Okay, this is a potential block. So when people see you step into your truth, snap into your truth, then they may come through and try to gaslight you or talk you out of something. So in this situation, 5 of Swords, it can be your inner saboteur, which is repeating an old falsehood from the past where someone said, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, whatever it is. And it's still sitting there. And you're like, you know what? It's like a flea or a mosquito. Just get out of my ear. Because that voice doesn't serve you anymore. It's just something buzzing around and creating chaos. So flick it away. It doesn't hold any sort of dominion or even just doesn't make any sense anymore. It's an old paradigm. There could also be a person in your life who doesn't want to listen. They just aren't ready to be accountable. So you've stepped into accountability and it threatens them. So instead of rising up, they're going to try to take you down. And there are tests that the universe can provide in this way. So what you do is just say, you're just making a fool of yourself. That's you. That's you, not me. And this is why. Here are the receipts. Here's the work. This is why it's nonsense. So you'll be able to shut it down. And I think you should. You should just say, that's not true. Don't say it again. I've had to do that a few times. One time it was clear that I would have to not be there anymore because there was a leader in a place that I used to work a long time ago, but they were saying falsehoods and in front of other people, and it was harming me. And I said, you can believe whatever you want, but don't say things that aren't true. I heard what you said. I don't appreciate it, and it needs to stop now. This person was my superior, and they were like, I can't believe you're saying that. Don't get emotional. I said, I'm not emotional. I'm just telling you, stop it. It's not legal, actually. I quit a week later because you don't want to be in an environment like that. But sometimes you just have to say, you're full of baloney, and it needs to stop now, because they will stop. But sometimes I looked at the system, I'm like, the system's broken. The fact that someone like that can get into that position and they're not being held to account, I don't want to be here. And I don't want to be the one that changes this because there's too much to change. It's not my job. This isn't what I signed up for. I just signed up in this lifetime to recognize that I can do better than this. And I did. And I was fine after that. But I had a safety net. So only do that when you're ready. But one of the things that I needed to do before I left was to say, that wasn't right what you did. Don't ever do that again. They weren't used to being talked to like that because they were used to stomping on people. And because I already knew I had one foot out the door, I didn't care. I'm like, no. So there are points in our life where we're willing to burn a bridge or shut a door because I'm like, don't you ever play that way with me again because this is wrong. And I'm willing to fight if I need to fight. Sometimes you have to fight if there's someone acting a fool or saying things that are wrong. Now, if there's just a family member, because we're having these little gatherings, Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, most of them are done, but we still have the New Year's celebrations. Sometimes there's a person in the room that just likes to get under your skin. That's not a fight worth fighting. That's where you just say, nah, they've had too much eggnog. They've had too much vodka or whatever. I don't need to do, we're not going there. I'm not going to be their fuel. You've got your oil for your lantern. You're going to use it for better things. So if there's a person that has cotton in their ears, they're not listening, and they just like to get under your skin, it's not the time, it's not the place. And yeah, I do have a Taurus placement, and that's where that Taurus placement came out. I see some people talking about it. It's in my moon. So I felt a loyalty issue there. I'm like, I worked hard. I was loyal to you, but you were disloyal to me, and it was the Taurus coming up. Thankfully, I have Capricorn in my ascendant. I have Libra in my sun. I evened it out. But sometimes the Libra wants to fight for what's right because it is the scales of justice too. And I'm like, nah. If you have all the information to back yourself up, there are times, my Libra team and tribe out there, okay, you want to go there, we'll do this. But it like happens once in a decade. But sometimes you have to make sure that you advocate for yourself and protect yourself, okay? So we have a little bit of that, but only fight the fight worth fighting, not the drunk relative on New Year's. That's not worth it. Not the, it just depends how and where it's coming up, but you know what I'm talking about. Save your energy. Let's take a look at you. So many beautiful synchronicities. I like this Six of Pentacles because it shows this beautiful fluidity and balance between the two. The exchange is even. The exchange is even. So this is what we're looking for in your life. Even exchanges, balance, reciprocity. And when it's out of balance, creating that harmony and that balance. And when there's resistance to it, saying, oh, maybe less of that, because time and again, I get tired doing that. If you talk to someone and it feels like the oxygen left the room afterwards, you're like, I don't think I need to do that again. Or if you do a task or an activity and you feel, I have to do that again tomorrow, it's time. Pay attention to exhaustion and exhilaration. When it feels amazing, yes, more of that. So you're going to use your antenna to pick up on the things that bring reciprocity or even abundance, because we want to ultimately move beyond this. But in relationships, we like this. It's reciprocity, give and take. You actually don't want it to be out of balance in that. So this is showing perfect harmony, knowing when to say when. If you need or want something, ask, and if there's a lack of balance, articulate it, okay? I think I don't have everything memorized, but I have my chart handy. But the other placement that I know offhand is that I have Virgo and Venus. So that's the other thing. So I like, in love, I like things organized and pretty. It's really fascinating to know your chart, though, because it makes sense when you go through certain situations in your life. You're like, oh, okay, that's why that happened. And I think astrology plays a wonderful kind of like organizational role in things. So anyway, in the environment, things are looking good. We have the Eight of Wands showing productivity, showing rapidity, like things are moving rapid. The goals, the manifestations, projects, all of these things are in motion over this next week. It's a great way to start the year off. I feel like it can be a very productive week if you steer clear of some of the things that we talked about. This is the promise here. We have people being inspired by your words and actions. And then we have a lot getting done. This is also a community card, even though you can't see all the people in it. So there's a chance here for a lot of movement and a lot of momentum in this moment in time, okay? Now, what's the opportunity? How can you snap better into alignment? Ask. We have a hand reaching out. So the Ace of Pentacles, all aces, but we're looking at this, it can represent three different things, a myriad, but three things in particular. An opportunity coming to you, an opportunity that you're giving to someone else, and something that you're requesting when reversed. You're asking for something here, or you're showing your hand and saying, I want this. In a relationship, it can be a proposal. In something where, like, again, maybe there's something that's missing, you say, I'll help, but I want or I need this, or I love it when you do this. You're showing what it is that you require, desire, or need. And there are many ways to do it, from subtle to direct. And that is the key here to snapping into alignment, is to say, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is how we're doing it. That's why we have the King of Swords here. Articulating the parameters and articulating what's necessary. The prerequisites. This is how it's going to work. We need to do this, this, and this. But there is something that you might want or need that previously maybe you didn't articulate. It could just be your New Year's resolution. I want this. I'm going to do this. And again, I think conjugating it like a verb is very helpful. I can do this. I will do this. I am doing this. Get into the present tense. That's where the magic happens. I am. And if you really want to get kind of like interesting and fun with the manifestation, rather than I'm working on abundance, I am abundance. I am love. I am success. Not even full. I am the thing that I seek. Because then you're already there. You've snapped into the grid. It doesn't grammatically make sense, but energetically it makes sense. I'm not in love. I am love. I'm not looking for love. I am love. I'm not successful. I'm success. Because then you don't need. Then you can just emanate and do. So I love English. I love language. I love conjugating things, but sometimes you just have to be that thing. And we don't want to put an ing and ful. Like, we don't want to put anything around it except the thing that you're looking for. I am wealth. I am health. I am love. I am ready. As succinct and clear as you can get it. Don't put the verb in there. I mean, to be, I am. But like, that's why you don't need anything else. Okay? Okay. I don't know why it works that way, but for me, it does. When you just are, then you are more powerful. Rather than seeking, rather than inging, which is I'm doing it, you are. You embody it. And I've been talking about the Hermit the whole time, so now it makes sense. So the Hermit is the secret flame, the fire within, that we don't always show to others. I will show the traditional card on this one. I'm actually going to go to the black and white version because it's kind of cool. So, Hermit energy. Some of you may be deciding to create something of great value or worth, like a teacher energy. So this is mentorship. Some of you are going to go back to school and learn something new. Some of you have finally learned a difficult lesson. And it's like, now I know. Finally, I know. The question is, when are you going to share it? Okay, so we have two cards here, and they are related. We have the Hermit, and in the Lantern, we have an exaggerated star. That's why I wanted to show this one. So he has a beautiful star that he's holding. He keeps the star kind of secret. The star typically is nude. I can't show a nude star because censorship. But here's one that's just showing the natural energy of this card. Being in the flow and being out there in the open. So you've already got it, but people don't necessarily know or see your star power. So it's time to own the inner flame, the inner star, and show it to the world. Sometime over the year ahead, we're going from the Hermit to the star. And that might be one of the lessons that I teach. Maybe the first, who knows, from the Hermit to the star. How to get out of the discomfort, because that shroud that the Hermit wears protects him. keeps them hidden, keeps them safe. Sometimes with knowledge, esoteric, like the meaning of the word means like it's kind of hidden. It's not in the know. But there comes a point where I think in our lifetime, we have to bring some of the esoteric into the mainstream so that people can find their power, be powerful, be the star, okay? As we expand this forecast, rather than drilling into the minutiae of it, much like or the small pieces, much like I did in a previous reading, I'm going to look at where you are and how to get to the next level. Keeping it thematically aligned, because in all the next sets of monthlies, I'm doing deep dives in the, so like let's allow ourselves to kind of like get into the grid here. Okay, so to that end, we're going to expand the forecast. Sorry, not this one. We're going to do this one. We're going to expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. And then the first card here is self-esteem. It's been hidden. So let's talk about it. So self-esteem, solar plexus, definitely a part of this because we're looking at health messages. There could be also self-esteem coming from parents, family, society, where it's affecting your emotional well-being. Because if there's someone in your life, in your school, in your workplace, that constantly says you're not enough, it makes you sad. It makes you angry. It makes you unwell. So we want to make sure that we know our worth. And I use that example of just saying, cut it out in the best articulate way possible. Sometimes you have to elevate it to say, that's not true. Stop. But sometimes people use that against you. So you have to decide, why am I putting energy into this? If they don't want to listen and if I can't make a difference, I deserve better. It's not walking away. It's elevating yourself, going to a better place. Because again, it isn't your job sometimes to change everything around you. Sometimes you just have to preserve, protect, and allow yourself to grow and thrive somewhere else. You're not the janitor. I did see the janitor, right? Yeah. So you don't have to step into that role. You just have to keep your own house clean. Okay? I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. When you start to see it, you start to be it. So people just may not have been aware of what you have, your power, your flame, your fire, your feistiness, whatever is there, it's about ready to come to the surface. I see it, the cards see it. So once you see it and own it, you'll hold yourself differently. You'll speak differently. Maybe sometime next year I'll go back and revisit older videos. But I notice in my old videos my voice is quieter because I was just starting out. So sometimes there's a difference between kind of talking like this or not really. And then for whatever reason now I'm very bold in what I say, just because I'm feeling it. I want you to feel it too. There's a confidence, security, clarity, depth that came through after 11 years of doing something. So you'll find it. You will notice if you have the ability to take a picture of yourself today and take a picture of yourself a year from now, after you've done some stuff, you'll look different. You'll feel different. Your posture will be different. The change is happening, mind, body, and spirit. So step into it. Believe it. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at, from a health perspective, as I mentioned, it really is the foundational energy. So if you wake up and you're tired, which you might be, I want you to pay attention to multiple things. Did you get enough sleep? What's the quality of the sleep? What are you putting into your body as far as food goes? Who are you hanging out with? What does your bedroom look like? Take a look at environmental, also like things that you're, again, ingesting, and then all of that stuff put together. Then look at bigger things like, am I happy in my relationship? Am I happy in my job? Do I like where I'm living? Like all these other things. Get them into alignment, and it's going to be beyond a week. This will be like the first quarter of the new year. And that's going to jumpstart the life force. Something around you may be, what's the best word here? Let me think about it. It'll come to me in a second, but it might just destabilizing. Thank you. So it may be destabilizing you. It could be someone around you that needs too much. It could be gossip. It could be neighbors, noise, whatever. But there's something here that needs to be stabilized. So let's stabilize that first. Clean up the messes first. Then I see a necessary break, like a vacation. We talked about that. And then it feels like if there's something that you want or need, once you find the voice to articulate it, there's this new sense of confidence, like you believe in yourself. The self-esteem can also, by the way, be built up through strengthening the core. So yoga, Pilates, anything that you can do that will engage your stomach and abdominal and diaphragm muscles. That's going to help you hold yourself stronger, firmer when you communicate. I think that's the big difference. I used to talk more from the throat. Even now, if I go more into the diaphragm, it just sounds a little too, but like there's a tonal difference. If I speak from here, than if I speak from here. If I go into the throat, it's kind of higher and shallower. But if I go more into here, you can hear like a resonance. I mean, I can go deeper too, but like it sounds bizarre. But I do notice now that there's more belly, more diaphragm speaking, and it's easier on your throat. So singers will know that. I can actually even push it a little deeper. Practice that when you're speaking, to go more into your stomach, into your diaphragm when you say things like no. It will, because no versus no, like it's kind of like a parent or when there's a kid or a dog and you have to like say it a few times. It gets clearer, deeper, and stronger as you keep doing it. Okay? There's power here. It literally is your power center. So pull the energy up from there. And it really feels like it's time to articulate what it is that you need or want or what's lacking, okay? Inner saboteur, this is mostly emotional. That's what I'm seeing. Emotional and communicative. And when you get to that, when you clear that up, things start to get better. Let's move on to wealth, resources, life, purpose, and career. Oh, I feel like I gave us the key, but I promised that I was going to pull an extra card. So for those that are struggling with self-esteem, what do you need to focus on? Control. And we talked about that. Breath control. Singers know this. I see them talking in the chat. And then also just holding your ground and not meandering when you're talking. So saying less. More with less. Rather than talk. This is what I want. This is what's working. This is what we need to focus on. Short, staccato, clear. That will help you. Okay? Practice makes perfect on that. Control comes with time. You'll get there. Okay, so I was going to go to wealth. We have the peacock coming through for wealth. This is divine masculine energy because the male peacock is the one with all the colors. In the reverse position, there could be this fear of shining. Now we're getting into the star energy, because what the male peacock does is flay out all of his feathers, makes a little scene, does a little dance, gets the attention of the female peacock. With the card in reverse, the feathers go back. It's kind of like a hermit. So what we're looking at when we're going into the energy of abundance, which is really what wealth is I'm afraid to shine. I don't want to be seen as having an ego or being perceived as being better than someone else. I don't want someone else to not have an opportunity because I have this. So just don't overthink things when it comes to that. If you've worked for a moment of success or expansion, lean into it. It is your moment. It is your moment to shine. And you can share the spotlight. No one's saying that you can't do that. But muting your light, changing your energy, trying to fit into someone else's mold is antithetical to this special topic, and it's also antithetical to what you're supposed to be doing. Be yourself. Be authentic. And that's what's going to help you thrive and do so in a sustainable way. Be the peacock that you are, okay? So for wealth, I want to pull one card to see what's blocking you from this. And then I'm just going to briefly look at general messages rather than going 5 levels deep, because I've started to expand it to look at other things, like the bonus topic, which I think we got to, by the way, thank you. So I always want to leave room for that. All right, so how can you get unblocked and have more confidence and step into that shining light? Okay, so now we have Queen of Swords, but she's reversed. She's a lot more direct. So if there's something, I'll break this down into the subcategories, but I'll use one card. So if you're currently working, because we're looking at wealth again here, if you're currently working, this is like in a traditional job. Don't be afraid to say, I want this. I want this title. I want this job. I want this project. And instead of want, I'm ready. How, like, say, I see myself doing this. Talk to me about making this happen. Get into a very affirmative way when you're speaking to your boss. I want to put this into the goals. I want to see this happen by this time. What do we need to do to make this happen? And you're then being seen as, wow, they're assertive. They're clear. They're goals oriented. All right. You're also getting it in writing. She gets everything in writing, and she speaks up, and she's clear. And sometimes she comes off a little abrupt, but sometimes you have to be. So don't be afraid to speak up and clearly define your goals. Don't wait for someone else to define them for you. Okay, for those of you looking, I have to look here. So if we're going to do employed. Okay, so the entrepreneurs next. For the entrepreneurs out there, this is a moment in time where you want to clarify what your vision is. So if someone goes to your website and they look at your about page and they can't figure out what your business is about in a sentence or two, you need to work on branding and messaging and get clearer with it. It could be your tagline, it could be your logo, it could just be the about or bio message. We are a brand that does this, this, and this by doing, like, in one sentence, I want to know what it is. In one image, I want to know what it is. So branding. Focus on the branding in the new year and how you communicate it. If you're looking for work, edit. Edit your resume, and less is more. And when you're putting stuff into forms online, keywords need to really be focused on like something that's very clear, nothing ambiguous. When you have an opportunity, hopefully to have a non-AI interview, but like a first face-to-face one, again, ask questions. Be assertive, be clear, be goals-oriented. Students, this is a chance for you also to do the question asking. And also when it comes to aligning yourself to your vision for like what it is you're trying to do in the long run, say, hey, this is what I want. This is how I see it happening. And then for retirees, for many of you, you're putting down boundaries and limits. People may be asking for too much. And we had this beautiful Six of Pentacles, and it's about finding balance and finding the right way to kind of make things happen. Like, you know, I want this, I need this, or you're asking for too much. Sometimes people take advantage of your kindness, and this is a time to have better boundaries and limits. All right, on to love and relationships. For this one, I will break it down. So we have the eagle spirit freedom coming through. It's I think he did it on his own. So Sting, if you love someone, set them free. So give people the freedom that they need to think, to do their hobbies or whatever. Space is something that's really good. Freedom to decide. Don't force, don't hand feed something to someone. Breaking it down into smaller categories. If you're already partnered, also like let's bring our helper card out for this. Okay, King of Wands, yet again, coming through reversed. Okay, partnership. Your partner may be looking to you to lead the way because this is very dominant, very leading the way. The best way I can put it. So yes, but also look to them to say, hey, I think I'd like to do this. Do you want to do this as well? Is there something else that you would like? So open it up. But you can start with a clear decision. It makes the decision-making process easier. There might be some indecisive energy with the other partner. So you're kind of like saying you want it, but also asking for not just consent, but like consensus. Like, is this also what you want? I remember you talking about this. Would you like to try to do a combination of the two? Present an option that they might like to. Try to empathize from their point of view. Say, I was thinking of this. I know you talked about this. What if we did a little bit of both? Find the middle ground, present it, but somebody needs to take the lead. If you've ever tried to make plans with someone, they're like, I don't know, well, whatever you want. Just say, hey, I know you like this, I like this. What if we go here today and there tomorrow? Great. And you know secretly that they like that. You're going to have to pull it out of them probably. But it looks like there's a little bit of this, but don't disregard their feelings. Give them room to speak up and give them an option that you know that they'll like, not just you. Okay? So a little bit of indecision. The other thing here is, again, putting out there what you want, asking what they want. I think that's the key to success for existing relationships. Avoiding sabotaging one another or the inner saboteur. And this is a time for relationships to level up. They're either going to grow or go in a new direction. So you're moving up, moving out, moving on. One of those. Moving on to those that are single and looking. There's a lot going on in your life right now. So King of Wands is saying, in this moment in time, problem solve a little bit and decide what it is that you want. I feel like right now, cleaning up the mess is the important thing. Taking a little bit of a break is an important thing. Maybe cutting some ties with people, places, and activities that are depleting you, also important. Then we see a couple of different options coming through. There could be a fire sign. There could be an air sign coming forth. Head over heels is what happens when the tower comes through. And sometimes it just happens faster than you want. So be careful what you wish for. You may also have two people entering in and you have to make a decision. So breathe. I think focus on yourself, and when things happen, they happen fast. Also, a slight age or experience difference coming forth in that. You get to decide what it is that you want. One is very tied to freedom, like they don't want to be tied down. So the other one might be a little bit more relationship oriented, so you have choices. Single and happy, good for you. You can make major changes right now. Lean into partnership, because a mentor, a business partner, someone of that sort of fashion could actually bring great abundance in your life. You really getting sort of decisive on what it is that you want can open up this kind of like catapult of opportunities here that's coming through. I think it's going to be a very busy January if you're single and happy, but you might need help. Ask for help. Hire more help. Whatever it is that you're able to do, bring in more assistance. That'll then help empower the abundance. Let's take a look at your destiny card. We have Diana energy coming forth, and it says, think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Easier said than done. Diana, Artemis, fighting for what it is that you want. Let's see how you can do it. Okay, don't be afraid. In fact, lean into understanding what the fear comes from, do something to overcome it, and then use that success to kind of help you go higher energetically. So the key here is to overcome the fear and then embrace the path in front of you. There's one last little lobster thing that's coming forth saying, don't forget about me. So deal with the fear, the anxiety head on. And then I really feel like once that happens, then you can focus on the path. So the thing that gets in the way of the path, that was one. It's the fear coming up from the ocean. It can also be what you were taught to do and what you feel like doing. Instinct versus conditioning. There's something that's in the middle. And so the path sometimes is having a zigzag between that. So know where you want to go. Know that sometimes you'll have to acquiesce a little bit, but typically you're going to be forging your own path. So comfort with ambiguity and with your own sort of voice and vision. It's not solely what's expected, and you know what you want, but you're going to have to act in this sort of 3D world. So making up the rules as you go, you're going to be okay, folks. All right? Pretty powerful message. Before we go into the final part of this reading, I want to just pull one card as a big idea to help us understand it, and then we'll go into the larger portion. So how can you step into alignment? Like if we've missed anything so far, then I have to clear the table. What can we do to snap into alignment to really make sure that this week, which is also going to step us into the new year, is going to be amazing? Page of Swords. Say it, then do it. So make your New Year's resolution actionable. So this is the resolution, and these are the steps. And then I'd love for you on New Year's Day and New Year's week to put actions into place. I'm going to send an email. I'm going to sign up for this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to call this person. Whatever it is that you're going to do to build, I want you to put the first brick down on New Year's. Something. Even if it's symbolic. Putting it on paper is good enough. But set it into motion, and then the very next day, the second day of the new year, actually do something. This is how it's going, because I'm breathing it, I'm seeing it, I'm feeling it, I am it. I'm not action plus it, I am. I am this. And these things are just supporting the I am part of this, okay? Now we're going to get into the bonus. I need to make a graphic for the bonus, but we'll just put confetti up for the bonus. So we're going to get into the bonus portion, maybe some gold confetti, which is what you need to know. Because I think this was a runner-up, and I think it can also just be a chance for some mediumship and guidance right here, right now. So let me clear all the cards while I'm doing this. Perfect time to subscribe. Subscribe to the newsletter as well so you don't miss out on any announcements in the new year. Okay, and let's take a moment here to pick a different deck of cards. Hold on. I'm just going to do maybe this deck. Okay. We'll let the decks decide. I might use both of them, but let me see which one I want to start with. Okay, 8 of Wands. I really should shuffle this one. Hold on. 6 of Pentacles. 8 of Wands wins. Okay. 8 of Wands is also going to be our first message. So that came through in the environment. What we want to learn from this is how can we keep up with the abundance? I want to show you this card first because I love it. So there are bees and hummingbirds on this? Yes. So it's a little, you have to look closely. So there's your hummingbird, there's the bees, and this represents abundance, right? And not just that, but kind of like how to nurture it, how to bring it to the next level. So that's what we're going to see. What's going on with your ability to keep things moving? Let me take a drink and then we'll look. Okay, so I want to look at this kind of like from the energy of blessings and blocks for this. So what's blessing this energy or bringing it forward, and what's blocking it? All these reversals. Okay, so the blessing first. One of my favorite Ten of Pentacles. It's who you know. You actually have a great connection. Ten of Pentacles can be your extended network of friends, family, and coworkers. It's also the work that you've done to sort of like build up your own financial or even just your self-confidence, financial state or self-confidence. Lean into that. By the way, if there's a gathering on New Year's, maybe you'll meet someone there because I'm looking at this and it looks very New Year's oriented. Say yes to gatherings and to parties. But really what we're leaning into is who you know and the work that you've done, even education. Like whatever it is that you've gotten to get to the Ten of Pentacles moment of accomplishment, don't sell yourself short. The block. 9 of Wands, but this time it's reversed. Remember that was a card that showed fatigue. I have it right here. So some of you are just tired. And this is why it's important to take a break. But hey, we have the 9 of Wands coming right after the 8 of Wands. Let's not forget about that. So you're just one step away from the next level. And then once you get to this, you're just one step away from completion. I can taste success. I can see that everything's within reach. But you may be hesitant to reach out and ask for help. You may be feeling a little lost, forlorn, or tired. But look at all the buzzing going around here, positivity. We see more than you imagined because we have, yes, all this card in and of itself, we see all these flowers, but there's even more seeds coming from this. So from what you have, it could like double, triple, quadruple. So the sky is the limit. This is the tip of the iceberg. Choose the phrase that you want. It's just the very beginning of a very fruitful, abundant period. Even if this year has not been good for you, even if challenges are going to be ahead of us, because I think we will have some financial challenges in the global markets, but you may have some personal successes, some personal experiences that are going to bring growth and abundance irrespective of that, okay? Now, what is it right now? Let's take a look at some areas of your life that are coming through right now. Okay, and I'm thinking of what we looked at today, focus and faith. All right, 2 words. I want to pull 2 cards on that. Focus, faith. Wow. Okay. So we'll start off with focus. The reason I chose focus is the Magician and High Priestess reversed. Well, tell me some more about the 3 of Swords. Why is it here? Fear around money. So, I mean, I just kind of was hinting at that. What we see here is fear, like, will there be enough? The 7 of Pentacles is typically a card of recovery, rebounding, and sustained regrowth. But from that, there's been an experience of something that didn't work out. You had these lofty goals for success, or you had a period where things were good, and then there was a little bit of a somersault. Or you're stepping into something and you're worried, when is the other shoe going to drop? The good news is 7 of Pentacles is a grounded card, and it isn't a card where there's enough. But what you need to realize with the 7 of Pentacles is don't overextend. So it's important in this period to trust that you're going to be okay. And to focus, because we were looking at focus and faith, right? I forgot the 2 different words, but I believe the first was focus because of the High Priestess. So focus on what's sustainable, what's enough, what's necessary. Be smart about it. And then give yourself room to be surprised at things that you might not have even anticipated coming in. I can count on this. I'm going to focus on this, but I'm going to hold the door open for much more, because I want to get to 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles energy. And you will get there. It's already here. I can see it. There's just a little bit of fear. There's just a little bit of emotion coming through. Okay? And you've got this. Now, let's take a look to get into faith or hope, or how to kind of like just have a breakthrough, which is really how this is kind of reading. So how can we get into that breakthrough energy? And why did we get the Tower? That's interesting. Show me the energy of the Tower and how to lean into faith. Gosh, there's a lot of people energy in this. So we have 4 of Wands, 3 of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. Not all Towers are bad. Towers can be unexpected good news. You get a message in the mail and there's extra money in the bank, or something, like a settlement came through or something like that. Or there's a gift from an aunt or something like that. You're like, oh, look, $50 in the mail. It can be someone that offers you an opportunity, like a job, or someone that just comes up to you randomly and says, hey, I've been meaning to talk to you about this, this, and this. And suddenly, where there was no door, there is one. So those are like really unexpected positive Tower moments. And the reason it's kind of coming through like that is we have friendship and celebration. Someone has your back, or someone's thinking about you, but they haven't figured out, there may be hesitancy here. They're not sure if you're ready. So the more you can get into this feeling of, like that old hair commercial, I'm worth it. I forget, was it Sybil Shepherd that did that? I can't remember the brand, but she would shake her hair and she like, because I'm worth it. Yeah. You're ready for something good to come through. You're ready for love. You're ready for money. You're ready for success. You're ready for a lack of struggle, because you're worth it and you're ready. I'm ready and I'm worth it. Like the silly hair commercials from the 80s. And that's when we have the celebration energy that comes through. So believe in yourself. And when it happens, celebrate it. Say, oh my gosh, leave a message on this. Hey, Nicholas, it happened. When I just got into the energy of believing, I was at the grocery store. I was at work. I was parking my car, and then I ran into, like, not that way, but like I exited and I bumped into somebody and said hello. Like, tell me about your run-in, like where a synchronicity happens because you believe that you're worth it. You have to feel that self-confidence. That's why it came through earlier. That is an attractive or a magnetic force. And then we have this beautiful flame energy that's wanted to come through this whole reading, where it's like you're shining, you're beaming, you're ready. And that's going to be the breakthrough. Oh my gosh, I was always capable of this. It was disbelief. So I want you to really, I encourage you to work on reprogramming disbelief. You can use just the why not, but I really would love for you to try the sort of exercise. I am wealth, I am health, I am abundance, I am ready. Even grammatically, though it sounds weird, sort of spiritually and energetically, it's going to sit you in the middle of the target. And things are just going to radiate around you. You're putting yourself in the sun energy, and things start to flow around you. Now, some of you might just have too much change that's going on right now. Get grounded. Meditate today. Do some exercise outside. Eat a meal that is well balanced, that really allows you to ground in the physical plane. Something that pulls your head out of the clouds. Okay? What are you not paying attention? What are you neglecting in this moment? Let's pull an oracle card for this. Okay, and how do we deal with these things? Okay, so what did I say? What are you not focusing on? What do you need to pay attention to here? So for some of you, you underestimate your wisdom, and we have like Ganesha on this. You have like the problem is not a problem. So the message from Spirit right now is whatever you think your problem is, it's smaller than you think. The solution is there. Just like an elephant is graceful, even though they get a bad rap for not being graceful, and they're very intelligent. So you have the intelligence and the grace to deal with the problem in front of you. It doesn't have to be dramatic like I learned. Just speak the truth. That's all I had to do. I had already signed a lease, but I was like, but you didn't. So the reason I knew I was okay is that they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. It wasn't safe to move into. So I'm like, well, I may have signed it, but you broke your promise, so the lease is null and void. So if you sit calmly and observe something and just articulate it, even if you've signed a contract, if it's not right, if they're already asking for something that's illegal or they haven't done it, you're fine. If someone in your life expects you to do something, but it's not right, like you just have to kind of like sit in the knowledge of, oh, okay. And then if you have a challenge in front of you and it seems insurmountable, sit like I did, sit like the elephant is, like Ganesha is, and just say, how do I solve this? What am I missing? Let me get out of the ocean of emotion, the moon card. I don't know why I'm alliterative today, but I am. The ocean of emotion, and say, oh, okay. Now I can see where the shore is. And now I can see the path to that. You just have to sit with it for a second, okay? Firefly is interesting. Another thing that's just coming to focus, and I don't even care about the question now because I'm getting a bunch of other things here. The Firefly is a partnership card. So I've done enough over a decade and plus with certain totems that I know what they stand for. So when you see a little firefly lighting up, it's a mating call. They're calling out for someone else, for something else. It's also a light in the dark. So it can just be about that, but pick and choose your friends wisely. It's a discerning card. So call and answer. One firefly will light up, but it's not necessarily going to get the answer. So it's a message, and then if someone receives it and wants it, great. If not, find where the yes is. Find where the opening is. So you put out your heart light, your sort of firefly light. Try to say that 5 times fast. But if it's not received, don't take it to heart. It's like, okay, thank you for letting me know that you're not ready because I want someone or something that's ready. So don't let a rejection turn off your light. And that's very much in alignment with what we were talking about today. And then sweetness follows in the form of the 6 of Cups. Friendship, love, camaraderie. But blocking that was these other things where like a problem seemed bigger than it needed to be. And one single rejection could turn off an otherwise very positive momentum. Okay? Let me take another drink and we'll see what else wants to come through. All right, besides what I've already talked about, what's your superpower for New Year's? What can you do to supercharge what we want, whatever it is that you want to come through? Let's see. Partnership energy coming through one more time. Okay, how should you be leveraging the partnership? Okay, so we're looking at themes of equity, give and take. Six of Pentacles has come through a lot in this reading. So 3 times, I think. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. Don't be afraid to give a little bit more. We really want to focus on give and take. And then 4 of Wands, friendship and love. Also, for some of you, a contract or a binding contract. So this can be marriage or partnership in business, bringing in a lot of balance and abundance in this new year. But your power is in the people that you know, the friendships that you have out there, and your discernment. Pick and choose wisely, just like the firefly energy was talking about, okay? All right, and then what is it that we haven't covered yet today that you need to know? Anything else? Just opening myself up from angel spirit guides and ascended masters to deliver one final message before we get into the meditation. I think this is a really powerful thing to focus on. I know that I am never alone. You can be in a room full of people and feel alone. And the holiday season does this sometimes. First of all, welcome to this community where I work hard, and I think most of the people here work hard to be inclusive and supportive. So you may feel alone, but you're not alone here. I'm here every Sunday. Show up as much as you want to. I'm here every day. I put out a bunch of videos, so you can come here when you need some support, and it's always a safe space. But this is also reminding you that it's okay to know what you want. So maybe you're at a point in your life where you watched a sappy movie on TV and you're like, I want that. Good. Okay. Now you know something in your life that you can focus on. You can start building relationships, but it starts on multiple levels. What we see in the movies is just one snapshot. Once the credits roll, the work begins. Like, we don't see past the happy ending. We don't see past the denouement or whatever is being shown. And so sometimes it just awakens a knowing within us. Reading a book, watching a movie, looking at someone in your life, and you're like, I want that. Okay, good. But you can start slower and in a more sort of like tangible way. Work at yourself, self-acceptance. What is it in your own life that you want to focus on loving and accepting more? Focus on existing relationships. Which ones need to stay, which ones need to go? Focus on being realistic and, again, taking the lens out of what you see in cinema, because it's entertaining, but it's not actually real. They don't show the grittiness always. It's cinematic. And then say, okay, how can I make this something tangible for myself? If you need to talk to someone, please reach out. And if there's nobody around you, there's a lot of resources as well. A long time ago, I used to work on a hotline, the Trevor Project, which is really important. It's for at-risk youth. So, but there are a lot of hotlines and support groups out there for people that feel lonely, that feel alone during this period. I actually was someone that you would talk to. This was before I did this, but because I wanted to help kids, I wanted to help people that were feeling alone, because we all feel that way from time to time. So if you're alone, find a resource, even if it doesn't exist in your current group around you. There's a lot of places. And this is a weird time of year because there's so much of a focus on togetherness, celebrations, frivolity, whatever you want to call felicity. Like, it's this, but that's a projection, and your truth, your moment can be wherever it needs to be. And as someone who's finally kind of mostly on the other end of grief, the first few years after my mom passed was really hard, because that was the final family member in my nuclear family that was gone, because I didn't have siblings and I don't have a partner. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, now I'm good. But it took a long time. That was 2022, and we're going into 2026, right? That was a minute. Might take 3 or 4 years sometimes to find yourself again. It doesn't happen overnight. The healing doesn't happen overnight. So let's just normalize healing and feelings and be there for someone. Check in on someone. I had a great friend. I am okay this year, but he called me on Christmas Eve and just said, I've been thinking about you. And we had it was the best gift ever. It was like 30, 40 minutes of a chat. I said, you just gave me the best gift that I got. Thank you for checking in. We laughed, we reminisced, and I hung up the phone and watched a movie. And I was like, that was a nice gift. So the gift of time, the gift of presence is so much more important than a physical wrapped up gift. Check in on someone who needs it this year. That's a great way to give back. Okay, so if you are feeling lonely, what can you do? So the Page of Wands in the reverse position is not overthinking, but is capturing their feelings. Pages communicate. Write it down. Finding another way to let it out. So exercise, art, therapy, nonverbal. Sometimes words aren't enough. They don't communicate it. Paint it, write it, act it out. Get on the treadmill. Or if you do need to talk, find someone that will just listen. Just a hug is good too. Somehow get it out. And that's your homework, because that is going to help you enter into the new year. And I'm sure all of us have some level of, because it's been a heavy year. So even if you're really in a good, strong place, the world's been crazy this year. Unpredictable. Chaotic. So you have to find your grounding to be the sort of lighthouse in the storm. Okay? So find things, find people, find activities that ground you and align you. All right? Let's go ahead and meditate, and then we'll do one final card, and then we'll wrap up for today. Okay. Close your eyes. We're going to use the last thing that I just mentioned. So imagine that you are a lighthouse, that you are bright and clear and shining. And oftentimes lighthouses have a light that goes in circles. So imagine that you're the spotlight in this moment. As you move around, I want you to see your life in 360. See all the different angles, what you've been through, what you've done, and then take a moment and focus and stop the light. Focus now on the horizon, on the beach, on whatever it is. Maybe a house. Shine the light on a house, and this house can symbolize stability in your life. Imagine what you would fill the house with. Friends, love, money, opportunity, comfort, safety. All the things in your bucket list for 2026. This is the house of your life. I'd like you to take a moment and imagine that you're sitting in the living room now. You're going to travel through the beam of light into the living room, and you found your space. You found home. Home can be a relationship. Home can be an activity. Home can be a physical space. But find your home and just sit there for a second and know that you are there already. Energetically, you're home. All we're waiting for in 2026 is how you can get there physically, because you're there. There's the one takeaway from today's reading is it's already here. It's already happening. So feel the realness of it. How does it feel to have accomplished that sense of being at home? The joy, the comfort, the safety, the confidence, all of it. Feel it in your body, feel it in your bones, feel it in your thought process. Beam it out. Now imagine that you're reconnecting with that lighthouse and you're embodying that. And just like the lighthouse, you're shining in all directions. And people can't help but see you. So this is going to be how you attract what it is that you need and seek out in this year ahead, okay? A couple of deep breaths, knowing that you already have what you need. You're just catching up with that. On the next natural exhale, open your eyes. And let's look at one final card for today. If you asked a yes or no, not yet. We have the Two of Swords coming through. The Two of Swords often is coming through when there's more to the picture than you see. So ask questions. Explore a third option. If you're looking at 2 or 3 choices and something doesn't feel good, try another. There's something about what's in front of you that is either ambiguous, unfulfilling, unacceptable. Something about it just, it's not right yet. So I'd like you to look at more choices. I'd like you to sit with it for a little bit longer. This card also encourages you to get inquisitive, to lean into your imagination and your intuition, because sometimes it's not yet in the world around us. This card is fighting the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands sees it and believes it before it even exists. The Two of Swords is the skeptic. Why isn't it here? Why hasn't it been here? Why? It's okay to ask why, but I also would ask the Two of Swords why not and how. Let's go to a different question. This is the little 2-year-old saying, but why? Okay, why not is really what it's asking. You could say, forget why not. Let's look at how we can make it happen. Forget about why it hasn't happened. How can we make it? When will we do it? What are we going to do to tangibly bring this into the... You're asking the wrong question, and you're looking in the wrong places when the Two of Swords comes through. It's a perceived block when it doesn't need to be. Yes, you're stating the obvious. It's not here, but that doesn't mean that it won't be here, and it doesn't mean that it's not possible. It just means that you're stating the obvious. I don't see it now. Okay. That's because it hasn't been made yet. So the question is, do you want to be the one that fabricates it? Do you want to find someone else to create it with you or for you? There's a little work to do. But right now, if you're looking at something and it doesn't feel right, there's more to understand. So sit with it for a second. It's a nuanced question. It's not just a yes or no. So you have to get a little bit more clarity. You can ask questions of someone else if they're being ambiguous or unclear. We've talked for ages today, but there was a lot to talk about. And it was a good session. I feel like it was a good session. These are like sessions sometimes, like therapy sessions or group sessions. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll probably do something for New Year's. I'm going to decide what that is going to look like. I might put up a post asking for what you want and what format, whether you want it as a post or maybe another live. So we'll do something to celebrate the New Year's together, but it's very close. So I'll think on that a little bit, and I'll probably put a placeholder up for it if we do a live event. I think we'll do a live event. Okay, I'd like to take a couple moments here to just give some gratitude. Thank you guys so much for being amazing, being the best part of what I do here. We're going to validate everybody here that gave back a little bit, but thanks to all that just showed up, because without your support, I wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you for showing up. So give me just a moment here to give gratitude to everybody that gave back in a sticker today. So at the very beginning, we had Indigo Snap becoming a member. Welcome. Looks like welcome back, I should say. You rejoined. Heather, thank you for gifting a membership and being a member as well. We have Colette with a sticker and also a member already, so thank you for both. Thank you to Marianne for giving a sticker. Kathy for being a member and giving a sticker. Ann Walk for being a member and giving a sticker. Dennis Marsh, K&X, Suzanne Vanderlan, I think it is, yes, for all giving stickers. Jamie for being a member and giving a sticker. Same thing with Colette and PJ Good. PJ, I knew you were going to give a bunch because you're amazing there. Thanks for being number one, Colette, number two contributor, PJ, and I'm going to heart all of your contributions, which gave us the ability to do that extra little bonus piece at the end. Anita, thank you for your sticker. And Walk again for another contribution and for being a member. Colette again for being a member and giving a sticker. Celebrating an anniversary, I don't know why I said it that way, anniversary here, we have Institutionalized 88. Thank you for 21 months, almost 2 full years of membership. Happy holidays to you as well. More love from PJ. Thanks for getting us close to that goal, PJ. Deborah, thank you for being a member and giving a sticker. Yolanda for your sticker. Institutionalized again for a sticker and for being a member. For 14 months of membership, let's celebrate. Let's see, is it Deborah DeJong? Deborah D. Thank you so much, and blessings to you as well. Colette, thanks again. I appreciate that. Deborah, again, thank you for the sticker. Created by Deanne, thank you for your sticker. I gifted 5 memberships, so welcome to all the new people that were gifted. Colette, once more, another sticker. Thank you so much, and for being a member. Let's see, Tiara, thank you for your sticker. I appreciate it. K&X, thank you again for your sticker. Nikki, thank you. Barbara Southland, thank you. Sinister Days, Davina 44, thank you both for being a member and for giving stickers. Let's see, the following for just giving stickers. Aisha, thank you. Sinister Days, thank you again. Kathy Ahern, thank you so much for your sticker and for being a longtime member. Good to see you again. Wow, this one's the longest so far. Thank you for 50 months of membership from Lorna. Norma, thank you for your sticker and for being a member. Let's see. Welcome back to Deborah. Thank you very much. Or welcome. It's your first time here as a member. Another 50 months member here. Let's see. Aaron, thank you so much for 50 months. Happy birthday to you. Happy New Year's. And again, happy membership anniversary. Thank you to MP Leisman. Thank you for being a longtime member and for your sticker. Thanks to the sticker from Aaron. And Jean, thank you very much with the X's on either side. Appreciate your membership, long-term member actually, and your sticker. Thank you for 40 months of membership to Jill Sheets. Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. Lorna, thanks again. Gratella, I think it is, or Gratea, thank you very much. Oh, wait, it just got shifted on me. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to go backwards because for some reason it refreshed. Let me try this again. Fan funding. Let's do it one more time. I lost my place, so I'll just move from the bottom up. MMP Listman, thank you again. H and Ghoul, thank you very much for yours. Rapid changes indeed. I appreciate your support and your membership. Leslie, thank you to Casey and Bloom for your 5 gifted memberships. Georgia, thanks for the sticker and the membership. And then we're back where we were. Gratella, thank you. Or Gratea. I think I got everybody. If I missed anyone, apologies. I'll see it on the replay. I hope all of you have an amazing week ahead. It looks like we have a pretty good energy field bringing us into this new year. I will be back again, probably live on New Year's Eve to do something a little less intense than today. We'll focus on something. Maybe it'll be reader's choice. I'll pick some things that have never gotten picked or something like that. Thank you, by the way, to Rebecca for 22 months. I appreciate that. Dakota, thanks for your assistance today as well. Wishing you all a very happy holiday season, a wonderful new year. Be kind to yourselves. Take some time and have some fun this week as well. Until I see you next time, much love and light. Let's see if we can pull Apollo up for one last picture. No, he's like... He's sleeping on the ground saying, Dad, just leave me alone. You got to see him earlier. Maybe I'll just bring up a little picture of him. He recently got groomed, and he's like, Dad, let me just relax. He's a sweetie pie. Send some love to all of your... Here's one. So that's what he looked like, but he's not willing to kind of show up right now. There you go, folks. Have a great day. Wishing you much love and light. Take care. Talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.